Hello, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, Earthlings. The reason I'm speaking like this, I'm just checking that the selfie stick isn't all going to collapse and fall on the bed. Have you ever had one of those days where you should have just stayed in bed? Just don't get up. Today's been one of those days, but don't worry, I won't bore you with that. Well, I might later on. Oh! I've tried to do this video 4 times. So long now that the battery on my brand new phone is actually gone right down. I'm down to about 33%. And I don't care. I'm not rushing this one. And on the 4th attempt, the entire selfie stick collapsed and the phone inexplicably sprung out of it. And I was going to make a joke of it, but then it landed face down and then I couldn't find it or get hold of it. I'm actually thinking perhaps Sandra, our resident ghost, who lives on this, but well, not lives on the boat, of course. She haunts the boat. Survival kit. Do you know, I never used to drink that much until I got this boat. A few of you the other night were like, oh, I think you've had a bit too much to drink. And trust me, so would you if you owned this boat. So would you. I'm not even going to pan round. We're in my cabin. We're in the stateroom. That's what they call it. They call it the stateroom. Well, my room's in a state. Oh my God, the day I've had. Haven't done any cleaning, haven't done any DIY. I've been fighting with government websites trying to get things done, and it's taken the entire day. So when I see politicians coming up with ideas and having votes in Parliament or our equivalent here in Spain, oh yeah, we'll vote for that. Oh, it'll just be a new system, a new form with a little tiny fee. I think, oh, not another one. Oh God, not another one. There are so many of these little tiny weeny infinitesimal unnecessary superfluous little fucking licenses that we have to apply for that cost what they say is a small amount but invariably grows into an enormous amount. I don't actually mind whether it's an enormous amount or a small amount, but here in Spain I don't think the Spanish gobierno has met the internet. And if they have, I don't think they've managed to find anybody who can build a website. And that's coming from me, a web developer. So it super grinds on my nerves when I go on a website to try and do something in Spain on the gobierno and it just doesn't work. Anyway, that's not what I was going to talk about. Oh, tonight, this is my highlight of my day is talking to you guys. It really is. I thought I would look up King Charles and his coronation because I saw River's video about the coronation invite. And personally, I love it. I love it. Some of you have said you think it's a little childish. I actually thought that when he became king, he would use the name Arthur, because that's one of his names. And I thought, King Arthur, yeah, do it. And have a sword and call it Excalibur and all that. You know, let's go nuts over the whole thing. But he didn't. He stuck with Charles. But anyway, his coronation invites, they do make me think of King Arthur, you know, the legend, shall we say. I thought they were right, and thank you very much, Ria Snakespeare. I bet it took you ages with your editing. Thank you for doing that fake coronation invitation for me and my wonderful family. My wonderful family, who never caused me any stress at all. Anyway, so I put that on a community post if you all want to see it. It's not real. We're not really going to the coronation, and I'm glad. I'm glad. Because let's say my family and me actually got an invitation. Oh my God, the stress. To get them to dress appropriately. To get them to behave themselves. To explain certain things to them. So I'm glad we're not going. In fact, you should have seen us all in 2018 when I took my daughter to apprentice her for the freedom of the City of London. And the company that I'm associated with very kindly said, would you join us for lunch? And when I read the email, I went, dun, 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 my family, lunch at the company. I can just imagine how many forks and knives and spoons. And it was one of the most stressful things, made them all bead with sweat. So I'm really glad to be skipping out on the coronation. However, I think it is incredibly rude. In fact, I think it is the height of rudeness that Harry and Meghan have not RSVP'd publicly to tell everybody, not just the Duke of Norfolk and his organisers, not just the royal, I don't know if he's told the royal family, but to tell the general public. They could put paid to a lot of the stories, but oh no, far from it. They were the ones who made the official, their spokesman said, Harry and Meghan have received an invite, but they're not gonna say if they're gonna go. Now that is unbelievably rude in anybody's book, even Harry and Meghan fans, even people who love them. You've got to admit that's rude. And I will put it into context. If any of you out there were organising a wedding, a birthday party, a bar mitzvah, a confirmation, any kind of an event, have any of you ever received such a rude response from a guest? Yes, a lot of guests can be ignorant and they don't RSVP at all. And we all know that's just a fact of life. But have you ever heard of anybody writing saying, I got your invitation, but I'm not gonna let you know if I'm coming yet or not? Because that's really super fucking rude, I think, in my book. And at this late stage in the game, they should be saying if they're going to go or not. If they weren't going to say anything and be silent, then don't release the official spokesman's statement saying you got an invite and you haven't made your mind up if you're going or not. And I see an article in Harper's Bazaar, because it popped up, because I was looking up King Charles' coronation, because I'm interested in the coronation. What's Catherine going to wear? I hear they're not going to be on the balcony. I didn't think they would. Not Catherine, I mean, you know, Harry, the Harkles. I didn't think they'd be on the balcony. I suppose there might be some sort of, after the flyovers and stuff like that, there might be some encore thing where they bring the loyal staff out, butlers and stuff like that, and they might say, oh, Harry and Meghan, you can be on the corner. You know, maybe they'll do something like that. But no, I didn't think they'd be on the balcony for the official thing. But I'm interested in the coronation and the organisation and how it's all going to be. And I think that it's lovely they put the invitations out and everybody's seeing that. But I just thought, why am I seeing articles about Harry and Meghan, will they, won't they, here in Spain, on my Google search here in Spain? I haven't actively looked them up. And yet there they are, in my face. I'm looking up my king, my monarch, his coronation, and there's Harry and Meghan, Harry and Meghan, Harry and Meghan, Harry, you know. This is one of the things that fascinates me about them. They beg for privacy, and yet there's all these puff pieces out there. And it was a Harper's Bazaar. It was a Harper's Bazaar article. And there it is. That they have the exclusive information that Harry and Meghan still haven't said if they're going to go. It's so rude. It's so rude. Would any of you ever dream of giving a reply, or worse, not only giving a reply to a wedding invite, saying, thanks for the invite, I've not made my mind up if I'm going to go or not, but putting an advert in the local newspaper to let everybody know, or putting it on a Facebook group where everyone invited to the wedding is, and announcing it there. We haven't made up our mind if we're going to go or not. Oh my goodness. Height of bad manners. Now I sense Meghan behind that, because I've seen, you know, how nasty, she said nasty things about her sister. She said nasty things about her dad. She's done nasty things. And I know a lot of you have commented and said that you guys all think that the palace and Diana made allowances for Harry all his life and have covered up for him. And I think you're right. I am beginning to think you're right. And I'll tell you what, there is one part in Paul Burrell's book where he said that when Harry was little, he had a toy car and he used to ram it into the shins of a male member of staff, you know, someone who was in regalia, had to stand very still, one of the guards, and they just had to take it and take it and take it until Diana noticed and went, Harry, stop it, you know. And Paul Burrell did say, ooh, yikes, that must have really hurt that member of staff. So yeah, I think if you're watching this, Windsor, you need to find some manners. I mean, my God, would you ever have been so rude to your grandmother? Yeah, probably. Probably, because you don't remember, you were too busy to go and visit her, weren't you? You were too busy when you were in the UK with Meghan, and then whoopsie doodle, she passed away and you missed your opportunity. And I wouldn't have thought there were going to be many more opportunities after the coronation. But the very least the guy could do, and to just put paid to all this nonsense, will they, won't they, is just say, yes, we're going, or no, we're not. You made a public declaration you'd been invited. You made an equally public one saying you wouldn't tell anybody if you were going to go or not. Now is the time, mate. Now is the time to R.S.V.P. and say if you are going to go or not. Now, I shall get on to why I had a shitty day today. Now I've gotten all that out of my system. Oh, vetting agencies. One of my kids has landed a spectacular international job, and part of that is a vetting process. And part of the vetting process, as we live here in Spain, is they need a criminal record check from the government. They're paid 2 times. It's been going on for 2 months now, even though the government agency, the Ministry of Justice in this case, has legally bound to provide the information that my daughter does not have a criminal record here in Spain. But no, utter silence. They took the money out of the bank 2 times, never supplied a report. So out of sheer desperation, in order to save this job for her, it's looking very much like I'm going to have to pay someone £188, a private lawyer, to do this for us, because the very well overpaid civil service here in Spain can't be asked to do it. Any other expats out there? Anyway, it's only money. I don't care. It's her future. It's her job. And I want to help her succeed. In the near future, in the not very far too distant future, I think that a lot of civil servants and a lot of governments, they're going to break down. I think ordinary citizens are going to lose their temper, and the whole thing's going to break down, and they're going to realise they took the piss too much. Anyway, I won't burden you any further with that. I just pray to God this is enough and the phone doesn't die and it won't end up being take 5, take 6. But it has been one of those days I should have stayed in bed from the beginning. A whole day wasted because of government agencies. Anyway, as always, I look forward to reading your thoughts and opinions, because you take my mind off the reality of life itself. Thank you very much for listening.